नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं शृण्वतां स्वगता कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदयन्तस्थो हि अवधानि विदोनोति सुहृच्छतं नाष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 18, titled Milks the Earth Planet. Text 12. भुव आदाय भूपति कृत्वा मनुं पाना मधुहात् सकलौषधी. Translation.
Prabhu, I think
Please,
your voice is going a little on and off. Maybe you can come closer.
Okay.
Maybe say
Sorry.
something like this.
Let me. Okay. Hopefully this is better. The translation by Srila Prabhupada. After hearing the auspicious and pleasing words of the planet Earth, the king accepted them. He then transformed Swayambhuva Manu into a calf and milked all the herbs and grains from the earth in the form of a cow, keeping them in his cupped hands. Text number 13. Tata pareje sarvatra sharam adadate buddha tatonye cha yada kamam duduhu prutubhavitam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Others who were as intelligent as King Prithu also took their sense out of the earthly planet. Indeed, everyone took this opportunity to follow in the footsteps of King Prithu and get whatever he desired from the planet Earth. Purport. The planet Earth is also called Vasundhara. The word Vasu means wealth, Dhara means one who holds. All creatures within the earth fulfill the necessities required for human beings, and all living entities can be taken out of the earth by proper means. As suggested by the planet Earth and accepted and initiated by King Prithu, whatever is taken from the earth, either from the mines, from the surface of the globe, or from the atmosphere, should always be considered the property of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and should be used for yajna, Lord Vishnu. As soon as the process of yajna is stopped, the earth will withhold all productions, vegetables, trees, plants, fruits, flowers, other agricultural products, and minerals. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the process of yajna was instituted from the beginning of creation. By the regular performance of yajna, the equal distribution of wealth and the restriction of sense gratification, the entire world will be made peaceful and prosperous. As already mentioned, in this age of Kali, the simple performance of Sankirtan Yajna, the holding of festivals as initiated by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, should be introduced in every town and village. Intelligent men should encourage the performance of Sankirtan Yajna by their personal behavior. This means that they should follow the process of austerity by restricting themselves from illicit sex life, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. If the intelligent men or the brahmanas of society would follow the rules and regulations, certainly the entire face of this present world, which is in such chaotic situation or condition, would change and people would be happy and prosperous. Text number 14. Rishaya duduhur devim indriyesh atasatama vatsam brahaspatim kritva payaschando mayam suchi. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the great sages transformed Brihaspati into a calf, and making the senses into a pot, they milked all kinds of Vedic knowledge to purify words, mind, and hearing. Purport. Brihaspati is the priest of the heavenly planets. Vedic knowledge was received in logical order by the great sages through Brihaspati for the benefit of human society. not only on this planet, but throughout the universes. In other words, Vedic knowledge is considered one of the necessities for human society. If human society remains satisfied simply by taking grains from the planet Earth, as well as other necessities for maintaining the body, society will not be sufficiently prosperous. Humanity must have food for the mind and ear, as well as for the purpose of vibration. As far as transcendental vibrations are concerned, the essence of all Vedic knowledge is the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In Kali Yuga, if this Vedic Mahamantra is chanted regularly and heard regularly by the devotional process of Shravanam Kirtanam, it will purify all societies, and thus humanity will be happy both materially and spiritually. End of purport. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशकारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. I humbly seek the blessings of all assembled Vaishnavas, and thank you for the opportunity to summarize from Srimad Bhagavatam today for my own purification. I'll try to summarize based on Srila Prabhupada's purport and a few excerpts from a book called Nectarian Ocean of the Holy Name by His Holiness Satyananda Maharaj. And please forgive if I add my own interpretation to this summary. So we are in this chapter called Prithu Maharaj Milks the Planet Earth. And the previous chapter was titled Prithu Maharaj or Maharaj Prithu becomes angry at the earth. So we saw how Prithu Maharaj, being the king of the universe at that time, because was the king and was responsible for the well-being of all the citizens, really became angry when he came to know that planet Earth was withholding all the foods and grains, and because of that, all the citizens were under stress. So, as a king, it was his responsibility to correct the situation, and that's why he became very angry. And as we saw, he was going to um, um, destroy the earth and then take all the withheld ingredients on food and grains. But then um, earth, on realizing that Prithu Maharaj is Shakti Avesh Avatar of the Supreme Lord, then started offering prayers in this chapter. And also the earth, the form of cow, basically mentioned in this chapter that she can be milked back, and she was withholding because of the impious activities of the citizens in general under the rule of the previous kings, and that now she is happy to release back all the material or give back all the ingredients and the material for the well-being of the citizens, because the king is a pious king who is Prithu Maharaj now, and also she tells how Prithu Maharaj can take back the ingredients from her. So we saw, or we see in today's first verse, like text 12, that um, Mother Earth says that just by uh, so by because she instructed that she first needs a calf, then Prithu Maharaj transformed Swayambhu Manu into a calf and milked all the herbs and grains on the earth in the form of cow, keeping them in his cupped hands. So, and then in the next verse, text number 13, Prabhupada, or the translation says, others who were as intelligent as King Prithu also took the essence out of the earthly planet. So this is a kind of a nice lesson we see here, that um, we have seen in our parampara that all the intelligent acharyas um, basically took to the shelter of the Supreme Lord, and they made their life successful. So similarly, it's a lesson for us that simply if we follow the footsteps of acharyas because they have been successful and they were super intelligent because they had knowledge about the Supreme Lord, we also have chances to be successful if we follow their footsteps. That's one lesson that comes out here. And then Prabhupada nicely says that um, whatever is taken from the earth, either from the mines, from the surface of the globe, or from the atmosphere, should always be considered the property of the Supreme Lord and should be used for his for yajna. And then Prabhupada later says that um, in the age of Kali, the simple performance of Sankirtan Yajna, the holding of festivals as initiated by the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, should be introduced in every town and village. Um, I remember one Prabhupada last time that I heard that one time Prabhupada was in Mumbai and his devotees at that time, disciples, brought a big businessman. So this businessman was like doing uh, glass business. He was supplying glass to so many different industries, and he was a very very rich person at that time, and he was making a lot of money. And also he had donated a good amount to ISKCON at that time. So the devotees wanted to bring him to Prabhupada just so he can get some association with Prabhupada. So as soon as Prabhupada heard that he's a big businessman selling glass, he called him like, "Oh, you are a thief." So this businessman was shocked, and even the disciples there were like shocked. Oh, why is Prabhupada addressing him as a thief? And then Prabhupada said, "Yeah, I mean, you are a thief. What do you do?" So this businessman said, I do glass business." And then Prabhupada was like, "Where does glass come from?" And then this businessman said, "Oh, glass comes from the sand." And then Prabhupada asked, like, "Where does sand come from?" And then he said, "Sand comes from the earth." And then Prabhupada said, like, "Where does earth or universe comes from?" And of course, he didn't know the answer, but then Prabhupada said, "Yeah, they're coming from the pores of Mahavishnu." So all the way, basically, it's all the property of Vishnu and Krishna. So you are taking the property of Vishnu and then you're selling and then making money. Aren't you a thief? And then the disciples were nearby were like kind of telling Prabhupada, "Oh, Prabhupada," telling Prabhupada silently that, "Oh, Prabhupada, he has given a lot of donation to our movement." And then Prabhupada was like turned to him and smilingly said, "Oh, then you are not a big thief, but you are still a small thief." So I think the point Prabhupada was trying to make is that unless one is Krishna conscious, I mean, um, unless one is in this process of bhakti, then he will be a thief because bhakti is the way that we offer our gratitude to the Supreme Lord for having given us so many things in our lives for our sustenance. And then in text 14, Prabhupada, again in the purport, says that not only that, I mean, just by maintaining the body and society, one will not be sufficiently prosperous. uh, Prabhupada says that one should not be complacent and should just remain satisfied simply by taking grains from the planet Earth, and as well as other necessities for maintaining the body and society. That will not be enough. Humanity must have food for the mind and the earth, and as well as for the purpose of vibration. So Prabhupada again says that, yeah, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting is the best process in this Kali Yuga to make to purify the society and make our lives perfect in terms of both materially and spiritually. It's amazing how Prabhupada in these sections, which seem very um, different in sense that um, um, uh, for maybe new devotees who are reading the section, it might not be very surprising. What does this even mean? That planet Earth is in the form of a cow, and she's like asking the king to bring a calf to release back. So it may be very um, unbelievable information. But for us, of course, we know Srimad Bhagavatam is authority, and we understand, or we at least have faith in this. But again, Prabhupada, before we get too much, too much away, or too much, before we get distracted, Prabhupada brings back our attention again to saying that, yeah, so whatever we get from this earth should be again used for Krishna service because it's all his property. And we should never forget that our main goal should be to feed the soul with the glorious pastimes, by hearing the glorious pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and also by chanting His holy names. And I just wanted to quickly also read a few sections from His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj's the Nectarian Ocean of the Holy Name book, where he talks about different things, but I just wanted to briefly talk about firstly the meaning of the holy name. And in that book, Maharaj says that firstly, when we chant, we should understand what the holy names mean. And Prabhupada gave this very simple definition of the holy names that, "O energy of Krishna, O Krishna, please engage me in your devotional service." And Prabhupada also further elaborated that Hare Krishna means addressing them. Oh my Lord's energy. So when you address somebody, then that person turns to you and says, "Yes, what do you want? Why are you calling me?" And then you say that, "Oh, Krishna, please engage me in your service." So Sachinandan Maharaj explains that as soon as we say Hare Krishna in the holy names, then immediately we get the attention of Krishna, and he's turning towards us and he's waiting for us to ask the next thing. So then that's when we said, "Oh, please engage in our his service." So that's how potent the Maha Mantra is. That it immediately can attract Krishna's attention, and he's waiting for hearing our request. And then Maharaj also says that the most evident difference between bhakti and the other philosophies or other processes of self realization is that in bhakti, the way and the goal are the same. In other words, Krishna's holy name is the way, but it is also the goal, Krishna himself. And there's a nice story that Maharaj explains to illustrate this point. So he says, once there was a beggar who went to the king because he wanted to see gold. And the king said, "Well, climb up the stairs which lead to my treasury and open the last door. There you will see gold." So the beggar climbed up the stairs, opened the door, and saw the chamber filled with gold. Then, when he turned around, he realized that the stairs he had climbed up were also made of gold. Since had not known what gold looks like, he simply could not recognize it until he saw the gold filled treasury. Similarly, the way to attain Krishna, namely the chanting of the holy name, is already Krishna himself. And only because we forgot our relationship with Krishna, we not we are not aware of this fact. However, once we start with the path of bhakti, Krishna will gradually reveal himself through his holy name. And finally, Maharaj gives like 8 quick steps that maybe that one can follow to better our chanting. So, firstly, Maharaj says that the previous night we should make a resolution that I'm going to bed early and I will chant with full concentration tomorrow. Then the second thing is that we start very early in the morning. We should chant in a place free of distraction, preferably in solitude or in the association of devotees. And then while chanting, what I'd say is that we should um, take care of clear, distinct pronunciation of the holy names. And our posture should be upright. And then we should focus on the sound vibration. And then we should meditate on the meaning of the holy names while chanting. And then finally, importantly, we should chant with the feeling of longing for Krishna, that Krishna is our only savior, and then we should basically try to always remember him in that mode. So these are some general recommendations Maharaj has, and he has many more. But at this point, I'll stop the summary, and thank you again for the opportunity.